You are the individual presence of God. Each one of us, individualized presence of what we call God. So if you can imagine like a sun, and here's this blazing sun, and there are rays that are coming from this sun all around it. Now we, each one, are like a ray that's coming from that sun. So here we have our source, and we're hooked to it through this ray of light. And at the end of that ray of light is our world and what we experience. So the question always comes now is how much of that light are we allowing in order to have that really beautiful, perfect, wonderful world on the other side? If we're not allowing that light through and we're pinching it off and we're contracting down, then this world on the other side of that ray is going to be very, very different. So it's important to understand that God is not something outside of us. Source is not something that is somewhere else. It is moving through each one of us in an individual way. Individual way. So you, I, and anyone else is that presence, what we call God. And our job or our goal is to allow as much as possible to come through us in order to experience this wonderful, wonderful life. Now, because we're each a ray of light off that sun, we are equal. There is no nothing that's not equal parts of what we call God. And since we are equal parts of what we call God, we have the ability to create the life that we want to create because we have all access to everything we need in order to create it. The only thing that's happened is instead of serving that light, that ray back to the sun, we have decided to serve the world that we have created. So we are serving our creations instead of the creator. Does this make sense? And as we serve others and we serve the society and we serve the world, as Jesus said, then what happens is then we judge it. And if it works, then we're happy. And if it doesn't work, we're unhappy. And it's kind of like instead of serving one source, we're serving 6 billion sources. Even more so when you look at the different parts of the body and so forth and so on. So we're serving all the time. But the choice that we have is either to serve all of these pieces everywhere, all these people, and in order to do that, we have to compare ourselves to them. And now it becomes this comparison between us and everyone else. Or we can simply look up, there's the idea of up, and serve the one source that we call God. Now, how do we do this? We do this by recognizing that to serve the world, there's a feeling of getting. I need to go get something. Now, in order to get something from the world, this is where it gets really interesting. We have to pinch off what we're receiving from our source because the source is always giving to us, but we're in a state of receiving it from our end. Does that make sense? It's giving, coming down the light ray, and we're there to receive it as it comes in. So therefore, we are receivers. We are always receiving. We can almost look at it like a frequency. If source was like 101.1 frequency and it's holding that light right there at that 101, the question is always, where are we at on that frequency dial? Are we on 85.6? You see? Then we're going to have a gap between it. This is why you hear the idea of tuning in and aligning with your source. It really means to align with that frequency that you are. Now, everything that you have asked for, the life that you really want, that wants to come through, that expanded life of abundance and flow and prosperity and fun and excitement, is on this station. Your source is consistently holding it, sending it to you in order to express it out into this world. But if we're not at that frequency, then we won't receive it. So we become receivers, not go-getters. And that's why you hear the idea of don't seek. It's more about allowing. I allow things to flow through me. I allow myself to be that ray of light from that bright sun, which we call God or source. Not going to get from the world something that I can't get. We can't get from the world because it's our own creation. It's all neutral. There's nothing out there. It feels like there's something out there, but in reality, there's really nothing out in the world for us to receive. We receive from our source. Now, if we can stop pinching off that light by focusing too much on the world, then we can now start receiving that light as our own. When you receive that light, you receive that energy, you receive that truth of your being through alignment, then you no longer need to please the world. The world becomes something else entirely. It doesn't become a place where you have to go get from individual people and individual circumstances. It becomes an overall abundant, synchronized place that is coming from within. And that's the idea of the kingdom of heaven that Jesus was speaking about. We align with our source. We allow that light to come through. We receive it as our own. I am God. You see, that's where that idea, I am. We have to receive it as our own, literally be our own God, because the only way to get to that frequency is to receive it and see it as yourself. You see, that's how energy and frequencies work. You have to be that which you want to be, or that which you want. So as you receive it as yourself, I am that essence of God. I am flowing with my source, do you see? And I align with it through receiving and allowing of that truth of my being. Then from that perspective, I can go give it to my creations instead of getting it from them. Now, what happens there is then when you meet people, you will see those that are allowing their source and shining their light and love, and you'll see those that are not allowing it and pinching it off. That makes sense, just like what you have the option to do all the time. Remember, it's the people coming back to us that kind of throw us off canter, so to speak, right? It's things that are working and not working, and different vibrations that are always flowing in that really get us unsettled in our life. But when you allow your source in and you recognize that that is your provider only, we have one provider, each one of us, which is our source energy. We align with it, we allow it in. That's where the idea of affirmations, I am beautiful, I am abundant, I am lovely. All you're doing is being that which you already are. Do you see? By changing your frequency and allowing it in as yourself. As yourself. Your source is always beautiful and abundant and prosperous. And you see, it's at that high frequency. And as we take it as our own, we raise our frequency. Now we feel it. It doesn't matter if it's coming into your life at this point, but you feel it inside the essence of your being. And now you give it to your brothers and sisters. When someone is pinching off their light because they're angry or feeling down or feeling low, instead of matching their frequency, we simply see the other side they're not receiving, and we say something like, all things are working well, and you are powerful, and you are wonderful, and great things are coming to you. Do you understand? Because we offer that light to them, that rope, so to speak, that will take them back up their ray, so they can then receive their sun, because we are not here as a provider for anybody. And that's probably the most important thing. We did not come to provide for people. We didn't even come to provide for ourselves. This world is not our provider, and we are not providers for others. Each one of us, our provider is our source, is that sun that's coming down our way. It comes from within. This is why Jesus said you have to go within. Let go of the world and go within. However, we can inspire others by seeing the good in them, by seeing the light in them, by seeing the strength in them, by seeing the courage in them, by recognizing that they have the ability to let go of the world that they are trying to please and allow themselves to receive and allow their source to come through. And that's how we inspire each other. Does this make sense? See, we can't continue going out there and trying to get people to think the way we think or believe the way we believe, or I'm right and you're wrong, and we compare ourselves over and over. When each one of us is the light of this being all the way back to the sun of all that we are. I mean, that's amazing when you think about it. When I really learned this and I recognize I can look up and just follow that light all the way back to the sun, this incredible mass of being that I am, that each one of us are individually, is mind-blowing. And that's why let go of others. It doesn't matter what they think of you. It only matters what you see. We are selfish creators. And it's so important to understand that we cannot create for other people and people cannot create for us. We need to be selfishly focused. And what we need to selfishly focus on is our source, our love, our goodness, our flow, our abundance. I've learned that through my thoughts, and I recommend this, is ask yourself, how do you think in terms of moving in the direction of that frequency? Instead of saying, I am sick, you can say, I am allowing well-being to flow through. Instead of saying, I am poor or things are not working out for me, I am allowing and receiving wonderful gifts to come into my life. Do you see? Now there's this idea of allowing the sun, allowing that light to come through us. And as we change our dialogue to what I need, I gotta get, to I'm allowing and receiving, now you're going to feel, and trust me, you will feel through the solar plexus, that release of contraction, that release of relying upon the world and our creations, and you'll feel it release. I am allowing myself to be blessed. I am allowing good things to flow to me. I am receiving and allowing my abundance to flow. I now know that I'm connected to my source, and that is my provider. And I'm going to allow that light to flow through me. And I'm going to give it to the world in order to receive it back. Can you see the difference there? So as I recommend, play with that vibration of allowing. I allow. See, what happens then is, how can you be lackful if, regardless of what you're missing, I'm now allowing it in. I'm now allowing it in. You're like that empty water container, and here's that pitcher of water filling it up. You see, Source is consistently filling us up. All we have to do is recognize where we are and then pull it in. I allow my abundance. I allow the flow of life to flow through me. Not out there. We're not trying to attract a world of money and things. Do you see what I'm saying? We're trying to attract our light and our love and our abundance from our source. We're allowing it to come through us. And as we learn to allow, I receive, then it will go out into the world and you will receive it back in the form of your creations. People will then start giving and you'll just start feeling so blessed. They will become your messengers. No longer your providers. You will know the difference. They are now messengers of your source. And you will see the connection of all of us. Because that individual presence of God that you are will become the collective of everywhere you go and all that you experience. It's really interesting how that works. But we first need to receive that light into the individual presence and perspective of God that we are. Then it will move out in the form of a synchronicity, and it will collectively become everything in your life. Take this with you. I hope it helps. As always, my appreciation and love to all of you. Hit the like button if this is speaking to you. Share, subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.